Peace and blessings to you all, and welcome back to another card reading. As today is Wednesday, as usual, I come on here once a week to share messages of guidance, share messages of hope, insights that are helpful for the collective in order to just help them move through whatever they are experiencing in their world at the current time. And the world is certainly getting crazier with each passing day. So I guess so many things are happening. It is difficult for us to keep track of all the changes that are happening in the world. And I have found that it is actually better to not tune in so much to everything that is happening in the world, because it can get extremely overwhelming. There are a lot of intense energies coming in from the cosmos and the galactic spheres at this time. And we are all experiencing many internal changes as well as changes on the collective level. Now, I have found that when we try too much to focus on what is going on in the collective space, this takes away from what we are experiencing individually. And the best thing that we can be doing at this time, as we are going through these massive collective changes, is to focus on ourselves, is to give ourselves time, space, rest, and grace to go inwards and to really just pay attention to whatever it is that is happening within your internal realm, because this is a time of major healing. This is a time of massive awakening. And when we talk of awakening, I mean, that word has been really spewed around so often that people don't really know what it even means anymore. So when I talk about awakening, it's almost like we have all been moving through the world in a semi-state of sleep, where we haven't been fully conscious, we haven't been fully aware of what is taking place around us. It's like we have all been under some kind of semi-hypnotic spell that we're here, but we're not really here. And so as we go through the awakening, it's really that we are waking up to the reality of the world around us, but also to different aspects of ourselves that we didn't realize that we were holding on to. And now, let's just face it, but pretty much every single person, I don't even want to say pretty much, every single person in this world has experienced trauma to some degree. Now, when people think of the word trauma, we generally think of some horrific car accident, for example. But trauma is really defined as a challenging experience, a challenging or difficult experience that causes negative changes to ourselves, whether that's to our psyche, to our mental space, to our behavioral space, to our emotions, so on and so forth. So just think of any challenging experiences that you experienced which caused emotional overwhelm or anxiety or high levels of stress. All of these are considered traumatic experiences. Now, of course, trauma can vary in the degrees of extremity of trauma, but we have all experienced trauma. And what that means when we experience trauma is that this will have affected our nervous system, this will have affected our psyche, this will have affected us mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. And so it's important to take into consideration and to recognize that you have been a subject of trauma. And this does not make you weak. This does not mean that there is anything wrong with you, but simply that there are parts of yourself that were maybe disconnected or separated, or parts of you that went into hiding as a protection mechanism. And that's what we all do, because we haven't been taught how to deal with our trauma, and least of all have we been taught anything to do with our emotions. So if you are somebody who has experienced trauma, if you are somebody who has a difficulty dealing with your emotions, having difficulty regulating your emotions, then I do have plenty of individual sessions or even online courses that can help you with this. So you can just check out my website in the link below to find more details about that. But right now, what is happening in the collective is that we have all essentially brushed our proverbial shit under the carpet. And what happens is when you just sweep shit under the carpet. Eventually it rots and it festers, and eventually it's going to start to smell really, really bad that we're going to have to do something about it. And that is essentially the state of the world today. So many things have been brushed under the proverbial rug, and so we have pretended that they haven't existed, and they have grown and grown and festered, and now we are being called, or we are being forced to essentially deal with these things. Because remember, we as human beings, anything that we experience in our outside reality is simply a manifestation of whatever is going on inside. So if you notice that the same reoccurring patterns keep happening in your life, then this is a signal from the universe that there is something in your life that is needing your attention, that there is something in your life that needs to be changed. So there is no weakness in that. We all have to deal with change. We all have to deal with our shit. We all have to heal our stuff. And right now, because for a long time mental health was quite taboo, I guess less so in the sort of in the more developed world in comparison to the developing world, where mental health is still only now just being spoken of, and our mental health is everything, because remember, it is mind over matter. We make every action that we enact in our life starts off by a thought in our mind. And so if our mental space is not clear, that is going to distort and affect the actions that we take in the world around us. And this is relevant for every single person on this planet, because if we have not healed from our trauma, then we are holding on to all kinds of patterns, subconscious, unconscious, that are affecting us whether we want to admit it or not. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we all have a shadow aspect, and the shadow aspect of ourselves is the parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily like to look at, the parts of ourselves that we want to maybe run away from. But we have to acknowledge that the shadow aspects, the sort of less pretty sides of ourselves, only came into existence as a way of protecting us when we were experiencing traumatic experiences. So I hope that makes sense. But anyways, we have the full moon coming up in a few days, and even if you're not watching this video at the time of posting, this message will be relevant to you whenever you find it. But as the full moon is coming up, a lot of new energies are coming in, and remember, the full moon shines light on our different patterns, the parts of ourselves that we haven't wanted to look at, the parts of ourselves that we've not wanted to deal with. Well, what happens is when there's a full moon, the light of the moon essentially is shining onto all those shadow aspects, forcing them to come up to the surface so we can deal with them. Because a lot of the time we question, why are things not working for me? Why are things not going according to the way I've planned? A lot of the time it's because there are certain patterns that we are unaware of, that we are holding within us, that need to be addressed in order to shift the frequency, to shift the way we're approaching the world, to shift the way that we're looking at the world, so that we can show up in the world differently. So I have pulled some cards here to give us some clarity as to what it is that you might be going through, certain activations that you might be experiencing, and hopefully this will give you some insight on how best to move forward through these challenging and very tumultuous times. So the first card we have here is I am presence. Light body activation, accessing the divine within. Yes, beautiful people, we have to remember that we are soul beings having a physical human experience, and your physical body is literally just a vessel for your soul to be able to incarnate and experience the physical material realm. The only problem is that we have, of course, been programmed into looking at the world in the complete opposite way of the way it should be operating, and so we tend to focus more on our physical aspects. But remember, we have been created in the image of the divine. We are all a part of the divine, experiencing itself separately in physical form. So that means that we all have unique traits and abilities, and we all incarnated differently and uniquely, so that we can share our uniqueness with the world. Because it is through every single human being on this planet that we are co-creating the reality that we are experiencing at this time. And so it's all well and good to blame everybody else, but we also have to take responsibility for whatever it is that we are creating in this world. And the thing is, we are creating whether we are conscious of it or not. We create through our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. So if we are not aligned, if we are not aware of the thoughts that we are constantly thinking when we are not paying attention, if we are not aware of the emotions that we are most often spewing around all the time, then we have no idea what we are actually creating. And it is easier to blame other people, saying, oh yes, everyone else is wrong, but we have to take responsibility for our life also. So what is happening now is that what is happening on an individual level as well as on a collective level is that we are going through a period of remembering that we are divine, that we are more than our physical body. We are more than this meat suit that we are wearing, and that we are essentially first light and then physical. And so we are remembering that we have so much light within us, and when we activate our light body, when we activate the divine within, the world starts to change. We start to view the world through a different lens. We start to see the world through a different way, because we are all looking at the world through a lens of our traumas and our past experiences and all the negative shit that's happened to us. And so it is time that we focus on going inwards. It is time that we start changing the internal landscape, changing the lens through which we are looking at the world, so that we can see it for what it really is, as opposed to seeing it through all the negative experiences and traumatic experiences that we have had. So the next card we have is Solar Light Upgrade, Solar Plexus Chakra, Inner Fire, Willpower. Look at all this light. So isn't it interesting that we have the first card with all this light activating, and then the second card also so much light activating. So maybe some of you are familiar with what is called the Schumann resonance, and the Schumann resonance is essentially the vibrational frequency of the earth. And normally, I believe the vibrational frequency is somewhere at around 7, or is it 37? Anyways, you might have to look that up. I can't quite remember. But what's been interesting is that in recent times, because we are getting so many solar flares from our sun, what the sun is doing is that it is activating dormant parts of our DNA, which is why we are accessing the divine within, which is why we are remembering many things, which is why we are questioning, which is why we are not going along as usual, because things are changing. We are changing. We are allowing the light part of ourselves, not the physical aspects of ourselves, but the non-tangible, so our soul aspects, to have more power, presence, control in our lives, as opposed to always being stuck in our mental body. So the solar plexus chakra is connected to our divine will. It is connected to our self-esteem. It is connected to our essentially our willpower. So if you are somebody who has been struggling with having the willpower to get things done, and this is what happens with so many people, is they have all the best intentions and they want to get things done, but then somewhere along the way something happens and things don't work out, and a lot of the time is connected to our willpower. So you will be happy to know that the cosmic flares that are coming in from our great central sun are helping you to activate the power of your will, and also that of your self-esteem and your inner fire. So your basically like what drives you. Exactly. The solar plexus is the seat of your drive. So if you lack drive, then it is very difficult for you to do anything at all. But now, with all this light and fire coming into your solar plexus, you will be happy to know that it will be easier for you to get things done. Whatever it is that you've been working on, whatever it is that you have been wanting to do, whether it's you're wanting to instill new habits, whether it's that you're wanting to change something, you're working on a project, you're wanting to move somewhere, whatever it may be, you are going to find the power now in your solar plexus to be able to move forward with those things. So the next card we have here, first of all, I like to start with the numerology. The numerology is 3. So 3 in 3 in numerology relates to communication and creativity. So you are now going to be sparked with more creativity and the ability to communicate whatever creative I wanted to say projects and programs at the same time. So programs and projects that you are working in, you will be able to communicate them with more creativity and confidence, because we have that solar plexus card just before. So this relates to, so the card we have here is Gemini cross-pollinate. So Gemini in astrology relates to, there's the 2 aspects. So Gemini is the twins. So I like to talk of the archetype of sort of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 2 opposing personalities. And so this is what Gemini is bringing in. It is through that communication and creativity, it is showing you different, as you see there are 2 Bs, so maybe you are aware of one part of you, but you are now starting to become aware of a different aspect of who you are. Realizing that there is more to you. You know, we are all multifaceted beings. So yes, you might be a teacher, but you're also a mother and a lover and a friend and a writer and a creative. It's not like we all have to hold just one title. We all hold many, 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 many different titles. And it is about allowing yourself to explore those different titles, allowing yourself to realize that you don't just have to wear the hat of mother or daughter or wife or parent or whatever it might be, but to allow yourself to explore all these different aspects of who you really are, because there are so many aspects, and perhaps there are aspects to you that you didn't even know existed, but you haven't had the confidence or the willpower to go and explore them. Or maybe you have been someone who has always followed what is expected of you and what society demands from you, and so you have been living according to somebody else's game as opposed to living the life that you really want to live. So right now, as we have here, Gemini cross-pollinate, is the universe is saying, go and pollinate other flowers, go and visit other flowers, go and visit other, other hobbies, try new things that you may never have wanted to try before or didn't think that they were for you. Because with all of this communication and creativity, the only way that we expand our creativity is by trying different things and realizing that you might be really brilliant at something that you didn't even know that you had talents in. So allow yourself to be expansive, allow yourself to try new things, allow yourself to do things which maybe before other people said, oh no, that's ridiculous, don't do that. Well, fuck other people. Go and do the things that resonate for you. Follow your heart, follow your creativity, and just be open to wherever that guides you. So the next card we have here is a 2. And the message is Mercury. Interesting, the planet Mercury is actually the dominating planet of Gemini. So we have a lot here to do with communication and creativity. So Mercury, the message here is messages, because Mercury was the god of divine messages. So he was a god who would be the messenger of the gods. He would share messages from the divine realms. So this could be here. So 2 is also about togetherness. 2 is about partnership. So what I'm getting here is that there are messages. There is a partnership between you and the divine realm, and you are being asked to share the messages that you are receiving from the divine realm. Now, these messages might come through in different ways. So think about the ideas that you've been receiving, the intuitions that you've been having, even the dreams that you've been receiving. This card is telling you to pay attention to that information, because the universe is giving you messages, is giving you creative messages that is going to help you moving forward. Because right now, with all the changes that are happening in the world, we are being asked to move through the world differently. We have to move in a more creative way because the world is changing, the energies are changing, the frequencies are changing, meaning we cannot operate in the same ways that we once did. That would be insanity. The world is changing, meaning that so do we have to change the way we are operating within this world. And interestingly, we have the symbol of the caduceus. So this is the symbol that we see a lot in the pharmaceutical or health industry. And so, we are told that the snake was, the snake is often associated with the devil, but this is total nonsense, because the snake is actually deeply, deeply spiritual, deeply feminine, and is actually connected to the Kundalini energy that resides within your body. So the Kundalini energy is the seat of your soul, the seat of your spine, rather, should I say, your root chakra, your base chakra, is where the serpent sleeps. The energy that is wanting to move up through your different chakras, awakening the different aspects of who you are, awakening you to the different parts of you that you didn't even know were in existence, and allowing you to tap into the different powers that your body and psyche holds. So being open to expand through your consciousness, to activate the Kundalini energy, to allow the energies that have been sitting in the lower parts of your body to now move upwards, and to activate the higher parts of who you are. So the next card we have here is 5. 5 is all about freedom. It is about fun. It is also very much about change. And the message we have here is Leo, shine. So in astrology, Leo is connected to the sun. So we had the sun in the first, all this light in the first card, followed by the sun in the solar plexus, the light from the solar plexus, and again we have Leo with the sun. So a lot of fire energy is activating you here. And also, let's not forget that Leo, lion, is the king of the jungle, one who is not fearful, one who is courageous, one who is willing to, or not willing, or should I say, one who is prepared to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, because he has that self-esteem, he has that willpower. He's not there to question, are people going to listen to me? No, he knows that he is the king of the jungle and he holds great power. So you are being asked to move through this time of change with the 5. You are being asked to move like the lion, remembering that you hold great power and that you have come here to shine your light, to shine this light of the divinity within you, to shine the light through your solar plexus, through your creativity and your communication. Now, the next cards we have here is, what are you healing at this time most of all? So the message we have here is she who flows, ease, being open to change. We have the 5 here with change, so we know that there is a lot of change going on at this time. Go with the flow of life. And just look at this beautiful imagery. Yes, sometimes change can be scary, it can be overwhelming, it can literally stop us in our tracks because we're like, what the hell is going on? But the beauty is that when you are the one who instigates the change, then the change is not so overwhelming. The change is not so scary because you don't feel like you've had the rug pulled from underneath you, but you are the one literally stepping off the rug and saying, you know what, this rug doesn't feel comfy enough for my feet anymore. I'm going to move into new pastures. So go with the flow. Be open to the changes that life is bringing you. Realize that you are protected by the divine. The divine is guiding you because you have divinity inside of you. So keep listening to the messages that you are receiving in your intuitive realm. Keep paying attention to the messages that you are receiving from the divine realm. Do not be afraid of change. Allow the flow to guide you, because what we're also realizing is that we are moving away from a very patriarchal system, which was very masculine energies, which was very much, everything is structured and everything has to be in a certain way and we must follow the rules and everything has to be logical. Now we are moving into water, which is feminine, which is all about flow. Water flows. But the more you try and stop the water is still going to flow over. It's just going to crash and break things in the process. And so you are being asked to just let the water flow. Allow the changes to flow. Do not fear the change. Realize that the universe is always conspiring with you. The universe wants you to experience everything that it is that you truly desire. The universe wants you to know who you really are, but the only way that you can do this is if you get out of your comfort zone and allow the universe to guide you where it is the universe wants you to go, which is always going to be in alignment with what you truly desire, with your soul, with your true essence. But the more you fight it, the less you'll be able to experience that version of you, the highest, most advanced version of you that exists, that is wanting to be experienced in the world today. So the next card we have is clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, and opportunity. So again, I feel this, as you allow yourself to go with the flow, you will realize, rather than trying to resist it and fight against it, you will receive a clear vision of where it is the universe is guiding you. And maybe perhaps this reading is a confirmation that this is the right time for you to follow those opportunities that have been coming into your field. Now is the time. The universe is supporting you. The moon is supporting you. These cosmic energies that are coming in from our great central sun are supporting you. So the next card we have here is potluck, celebration, coming together. Bring your own contribution. Yes, now is a time for celebration. As much as the world feels like it's falling apart and everything is going really wrong, this is actually a time for celebration, because what we are actually experiencing in the outside realm is the collapse of the old world. And let's all face it, and let's all accept it. We haven't exactly loved the state of the old world. We have all been complaining about the fact that the system is broken, that the system does not benefit the many. It is designed specifically to benefit only a small number of people who don't have our best interest at heart, and all of that you already know. But essentially now we are being asked to celebrate within yourself, celebrate all these changes, these positive changes that have come into your field. And then it says here again, yes, bring your own contribution. As I was saying at the beginning, we all came here with our own frequency. We all came here with our unique gifts and abilities. So the universe is asking you to celebrate and bring your contribution to these massive changes that are happening in the world at this time. It is a time for celebration. It is a time for you to celebrate the uniqueness of who you are. So the next card we have is wall, no way through, sudden stop, reconsider your options, rise to a higher level. Yes, if you have found yourself stopped in your tracks, being like, what is going on? What should I do moving forward? How do I climb above this wall? Well, as it's saying here, there's no way through. The only way is for you to rise up and climb over the wall to get to the other side. So you are being asked to expand in your consciousness. Look at things not through the lens of your traumas, but look at things through the lens of your divinity, realizing that you have access to way more power than you have given yourself the opportunity to even see or consider. So I am really here to remind you that you are so much more powerful than you know. You know what you need to do. And this message is really a confirmation for you out there that now is the time for you to follow whatever these messages are that you have been receiving and to take action on them. The next card we have here is hero, focused attention, the need to be seen, masculine power. Yes, because in all of this, as much as we are moving into feminine energies, remember the masculine energy is all about action. Masculine connects to the physical realm. So if you are getting all of these messages and you've been daydreaming about them and you've been developing them in your mind's eye and you've been like, yes, this is what I need to do, now you need to start taking action. You need to be the hero in your own story, because it's all well and good to have messages and intuition and insight and ideas and creativity, but if you're not taking action on them, nothing is going to change. Because yes, it is mind over matter, but we are still here living in the physical realm, in a physical body, and so you are being asked to take action. Tap into your masculine powers. Focused attention is needed. It is okay for you to be seen. And then we have Devil's Gate. Just look at that. Doesn't it feel like we have all kind of been in this fiery pit of hell with everything that's happening in the world? We are really being challenged. We are being pushed. we are being squeezed, we are being, I don't know what other word, but I think whatever comes to mind you will be able to realize. But we are being challenged so much right now. And remember that diamonds are formed under a lot of pressure. And so the thing is, unless a lot of pressure is being put on us, we don't even know what we're capable of. So many of us have been living in the comfort zone, being like, oh yeah, this is me. But now the gates of hell, the devil's pit, is really challenging us so that we can start to realize parts of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. So the message is here, challenging your core beliefs. I am certain that with everything that is happening in the world right now, your core beliefs are being challenged. And if they are not, I urge you to question your own beliefs. Do you hold these beliefs because you really believe them? Or were these beliefs that were implanted into you by your parents, by society, by education, by media? Why do you believe the things you believe? Question everything. Encounter your demons. This is what I was talking about, shadows. Now is an important time for doing shadow work, because our demons are really our past wounds and our past traumas that we haven't dealt with. So it is time to go inwards and to deal with those traumas. Now, dealing with your traumas doesn't have to be awful. I'm not saying that it's a super easy journey, but I have a wonderful trauma course that will allow you to tap deeply into integrating your traumas and dealing with your traumas more from a body somatic level than through a mental state. Now is a time of important purification. In order to fully activate this light body here, you need to purify. You need to let go of denseness, letting go of beliefs, letting go of mental patterns, letting go of behaviors that are not aligning with you. Start to pay attention. Now is the time of purification. So let's close off with an Angels of Abundance message so we can close off this reading on a high note. So what messages? Oh, let's see. Okay, we have 4 cards here. So we have successful funding. Yay! Your idea is divinely guided and supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Do not allow money concerns to prevent you from turning it into reality. Crowdfunding, partnerships, and other investments are available to you. So many of us get stuck in our tracks because of the whole money situation. But this card is telling you that you will receive successful funding for your idea. Donations, tithing, and charitable work. Give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you, and know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, or other resources you donate would ensure that your positive energy multiplies. Yes, because what people have to realize is that when you are living in a scarcity mentality, you want to hold on to everything. But remember, money, currency is about flow. The more you give, the more you receive. And this is not only about money, but your time, your efforts, your focus, your attention, whatever it is that you want to, the more time you invest in something, the more you get back from it. Saving. So we have a lot to do here with money and currency. So as you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is, wind is going crazy. That's like a confirmation. This is a part of your self-care and path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. So yes, even just pouring more into yourself, saving your energy, not giving your energy away to everyone for free all the time. Being more frugal with your energy is very important at this time. And last but not least, we have a gratitude list. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. Oh gosh, this wind is crazy. I hope you can still hear me. So what and who you are grateful for right now. Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll rediscover the amazing generosity of this universe. So, my beautiful people, I hope that this message has given you some insights on how best to move forward with everything that you have going on at this time. But again, this message is really a confirmation that now is the time for you to take action. The universe is supporting you, and the universe wants you to bring your unique traits into the world and to share them with the world at large, for they hold medicine for others. They hold messages of insight, guidance for others. You are here to provide beauty and divine energy to the world, so don't be afraid to share it. Much love to you all, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye for now.